Here's a look at the early numbers, with 1% reporting Asa Hutchinson with 53% to Mike Ross's 44%. The other two candidates in this race, Frank Gilbert getting 1% and Joshua Drake receiving 1% as well. Still very early, but again, the projections usually always hold. And we go to Channel 7's Aaron Hawley, who has been following Democratic nominee Mike Ross now, and she joins us live with more. What's the mood there, Aaron?
Well, strangely enough, everybody's actually still very excited and cheerful here. I'm not sure if they just aren't sure that the AP had called the race for Asa Hutchinson, or if they're just holding out hope. But it was about 7:35, as you guys said, when that came out from the AP that they were predicting Asa Hutchinson as the winner. And people were still starting to file in at that point. The band was just warming up. So it was a little bit shocking for us to hear it quite that early, and all of the patrons here don't really seem to know that that has happened. Aaron, thanks so much. And this was an office that he ran for 8 years ago unsuccessfully. He told our Jason Peterson earlier he felt older and wiser, and so this apparently was his year, according to the Associated Press, in this early projection. And we're going to head out now to Jason Peterson, who is covering Asa Hutchinson's watch party tonight. What do you have, Jason?
Yeah, Beth, you could chalk it up to persistence, to perseverance, or to just a change in the electorate in Arkansas, the rising red tide that is definitely being celebrated here at the Embassy Suites tonight. J.R. Davis is the spokesperson for candidate Hutchinson. Where is the candidate right now? Who's he with, and when does he plan to address the crowd here?
Well, it's been a long day for Asa. We started the day in Little Rock, went up to Northwest Arkansas to visit family, came back to Little Rock, and right now he's with family here at the hotel and just kind of taking it in right now. We're happy with what we're seeing so far, but again, waiting to see more of those results come in across the state.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen. We're live here at the Embassy Suites. French Hill, who is running in the 2nd Congressional District, joins us now. And French, this has been a long day for you. We mentioned earlier you were up early with us for coffee with the candidates, been talking with some folks around here. And how about the night for the other Republican candidates? Have you talked with any of them so far? Asa Hutchinson, Tom Cotton, both big winners so far.
Not yet. Terrific victory for the Republicans, and I hope it's a sign for a sweep tonight.
Now, you are having a close race, which is expected tonight. That's something that's been talked about. The polls have said that throughout. And as we make it now to those closing hours and you're talking with people, what are your thoughts heading into the final night here on election night?
Well, you know, excitement, but I don't count any chickens before they hatch. We've got to count every vote, and we'll find out what direction and what the people of Arkansas want to do about their congressional leader in the 2nd District. Our
Allison Courtney has been keeping up with the other side, Democrat Mayor of North Little Rock, Patrick Henry Hayes. He was with her earlier, and then he went out to do some last-minute stumping. But we join Allison now live from his watch party over in North Little Rock. Allison.
Hey guys, yeah, still pretty quiet here at the Argenta Community Theater in North Little Rock, where we have not seen since 5 o'clock this evening Patrick Henry Hayes back here at the watch party. He told us he was going to be out to the very end, stumping for those last-minute votes, and said he wouldn't make an appearance till he started to see some trends. We are still waiting on this race, waiting on numbers. This is one that experts have said could come down to the very end, one of the tightest in Arkansas.
The 4th Congressional District race is very tight at this moment too. So two congressional races still hanging in the balance tonight, which were in fact Republican seats. So the Democrats would actually have an opportunity to pick up seats if Hayes and James Lee Witt, or either or, could pick up a win tonight. And right now, James Lee Witt, as you saw in those numbers, has a small edge on Bruce Westerman still early on. There were 5 issues that voters were deciding on, everything from legalizing alcohol sales to raising the state's minimum wage. One of those ballot issues has already been called tonight. We want to give you a look at those numbers, and this is issue number 5, proposal to raise the minimum wage from $6.50 an hour incrementally over the next few years up to $8.50 an hour by January of 2017. And you can see overwhelmingly Arkansans are in support of doing that, 64% for tonight and 36% against. And now let's take a look at issue number 4. This is the issue that would legalize alcohol sales in all of Arkansas's 75 counties, so no more wet and dry. Arkansas would essentially be a wet state. Here's a look at the numbers, with 1% reporting 56% against and 44% for. And obviously a pretty big spread there, but has not been called as of yet. Issue 3, it was an ethics reform amendment, but it also had a provision that would lengthen term limits in the state legislature, and there was an aggressive campaign against that. But right now, the ethics transparency reform issue is winning 53% to 47%. Early on, I question that 1% because those are big numbers. But here's issue number 2.
Issue number 2, of course, is the initiative reform. This would allow more time to gather signatures on a statewide initiative. Right now, 53% for and 47% against. Again, this is just with 1% reporting.
And issue number 1, this would require the legislature to approve state agency policies. Certainly has raised some concerns from some groups, and right now that one is winning by an overwhelming margin as well, 61% for to 39% against.
And we expected, we were talking earlier, that 2nd congressional district race would be a close one. Another one that some were saying might be a close one is the race for Attorney General. Let's take a look at those numbers.
52% to 44%. Rutledge, the Republican in this race, State Representative Nate Steele, the Democrat in this race, and Aaron Cash, the Libertarian.
Okay, and our Maureen Glisovic has been following Leslie Rutledge's campaign, and we want to join her now at the watch party for the very latest on how people are feeling over there. Maureen.
Well, Beth and Scott, people are very excited here at the joint Republican watch party. Leslie Rutledge, candidate for Attorney General, is actually upstairs counting some numbers with her supporters and her team.
And State Representative Nate Steele holding his watch party at Gus's Fried Chicken in the River Market tonight. Matt Mershon is there with the Steele campaign tonight. Matt?
Yeah, good evening. You can tell there is definitely still a positive attitude here at the Nate Steele for Attorney General campaign. Of course, those numbers not in the favor of this campaign right now, but those are just early voting numbers right now. They are hoping that these numbers do change as some more precincts continue to come in. One of the people that is really pulling for him is Nate Steele's fiance, Lauren Slaybaugh. Lauren, how are you feeling right now?
You know, I'm feeling proud. Nate has run an incredibly impressive campaign. He's an impressive person, and no matter how this goes, I'm really proud to be on his side.
And just a couple of minutes from now, it's quite possible that Tom Cotton will be making an acceptance speech. Janelle tweeted earlier, and we'll go to her and ask her about it, that she found out that Senator Pryor, Janelle, in fact, has already called and conceded the race.
Yeah, he absolutely did. Just a few minutes ago, the senator called Representative Cotton and conceded the race. I'm told from his campaign staff that it was a very gracious and kind phone call. The two chatted for just a few minutes and then hung up the phone. We are expecting the senator to take the stage over at the DoubleTree where Alicia Dover is in the next few minutes and give his concession speech. After that, we're thinking about 9:10. Representative Tom Cotton will take the stage here in North Little Rock and give his acceptance speech. Now the crowd is all riled up and ready to go.
How about the race for Lieutenant Governor? We talked about this race earlier, and we have called this race. Tim Griffin, the winner of that race, the AP declaring him the winner with 57% of the vote to John Burkhalter's 40%. Christopher Olson receiving 3% in this vote.
And some of the other races that we haven't had a chance to touch on so far tonight, the Secretary of State, Mark Martin, the incumbent, was being challenged by Democrat Susan Inman, but Martin with a huge advantage early on in the numbers, 60% to 36%.
Okay, we want to break away because we hear Senator Mark Pryor is making his way to his watch party, making his way through the crowd there. We want to go back to Alicia Dover for the very latest. Alicia.
That's right, guys. I am being told that he is here now. He's ready to speak to the public. As you all know, he has been the senator for the last 12 years, the senator from Arkansas, and that tonight is ending his, the Democrats' reign really in the South is ending. As you can tell, tonight it's been flipped over.
Tonight, the people have spoken. I've just called Tom Cotton to congratulate him on his victory. I wish him the very best as he takes this seat on the Senate floor, and I want you to know that he will be in my prayers. That's part of taking off the red jersey and taking off the blue jersey, right?
He'll take a moment to greet supporters, of course, and momentarily be giving his acceptance speech. Of course, only in Congress since 2012. He took the 4th District seat that was once held by Mike Ross. Mike Ross did not run for re-election that year, and Cotton just in office less than 2 years before he set his sights on the Senate and has been campaigning for that on the airwaves for months now. And the battle tonight is over. Cotton has beaten Mark Pryor, and he is soaking it in his final few minutes here, final few seconds before he thanks supporters and delivers his victory speech.
And I thank you, the people of Arkansas, for now bestowing upon me the privilege to serve you.
A few minutes ago, I called Governor-elect Hutchinson and congratulated him and Susan on their victory this evening. We had a good talk. You know, Asa and I served together in Congress, and Holly and Susan got to be friends during that time as well, and we may have disagreed on the direction the state should go, but I can tell you they're good people. He ran a great campaign, but so did we.
My family has stood with me through these years, and I'm grateful to them for their constant support and love for me, their pride in their papa and their dad. I also want to express my thanks to the thousands of volunteers that have worked hard for this election. You deserve the credit. We've had the best grassroots organization. We've had an incredible hard-working team. We have been outraised but not outworked, and you deserve the credit for this victory.
I want to say thank you to John Burkhalter. He called me a little bit ago. We had a good discussion, and he ran a spirited race, and I appreciate his call earlier tonight.
So the lights went out on the Democrats tonight,
yes,
Jason.
it was such a symbolic thing to happen, for the lights to go out on Mike Ross as he was giving his concession speech. I noticed both Mike Ross and Senator Pryor were looking down during most of their speech, reading prepared remarks, obviously very focused on saying exactly what they had written out. You saw Tom Cotton and you saw Asa Hutchinson. Their speech was very much like their campaign. Tom Cotton was very bold in what he was saying. Was preaching a bold conservative message in his speech. Asa Hutchinson was talking like someone who's getting ready to govern. He was talking about how he's going to start bringing people together, how he's going to get these things done. I think they were very reflective of the two campaigns these men ran.
Well, Rex, this is something, and you've been in the catbird seat before, so you know how this works. Now you have to govern. You are in charge. The Republicans are winning all of these constitutional offices. They've won all the congressional seats. They got to prove that they can handle the responsibility now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the transition starts tomorrow morning, literally. I mean, you have to start thinking about new cabinet members, other agency heads. You have to think about your staff in the governor's office. I mean, it is a big, big operation, state government. I mean, a senator's a different thing. I mean, you have a relatively small staff there. You're one of 100. But governor of Arkansas, yeah, you got to hit the ground running with a transition team starting tomorrow.
But there could be big transitions in Washington, D.C. too, if we're looking at some of the national returns here.
We started the day with the Democrats having 55-45 advantage in the U.S. Senate. It is now, I think, based on the projections, 49 Democrats, I think, maybe 50 or 49, with a couple of states added. Even a state like Virginia, where Mark Warner is who's supposed to win easily. It could be, there could be a shift by the Louisiana runoff in December from 55 Democrats to 47 Democrats, conceivably.